Hi, I'm Ashley Cimone of Equator Productions, and I'm the executive producer of the In the Black launch campaign, a 5-part short film series by us and for us, created by a global community of Black directors, designers, and creatives. This series represents a collective spirit of optimism and empowerment. In these extremely challenging times, socially, economically, I wanted to create a project that would foster an environment of collaboration and solidarity, and tasked each of you to create short form fashion films featuring in-season and SS21 ready-to-wear and accessories made by all Black designers. This was an opportunity to showcase our community's collective talent and influence without looking to our non-Black peers for recognition and acceptance. So thank you all for being here. We have Elisha Smith-Leverock, Sean Frank, Numa Perrier, Ademola Falomo, and Anthony Prince Leslie.
Okay, hi. So I'm Elisha Smith-Leverock, and I'm based in Berlin and London. The title of my film is Rejoice, Resist. And yeah, I'm a director, and I do mainly commercials, but also narrative and documentary.
Hi, everyone. My name is Numa Perrier. I'm a filmmaker based in Los Angeles, and the title of my film is We Do.
My name is Ademola Falomo. I'm a director based in Lagos, Nigeria. And the title of my film is Identity.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Frank. I'm based in Los Angeles and I'm currently in New York, which is where the film was shot. And the title of the film is called Rebel Seed.
Hey y'all, my name is Anthony Prince Leslie. I'm a filmmaker also based in New York City. Shout outs to you, Sean. And my film is called Ashe.
I guess I kind of wanted to talk about, maybe to start, how you all came up with the concepts for your films. I think with each of the films, we have very different approaches and themes of joy, of sisterhood, of family, of individuality, acceptance. And I'm curious to know what it was about this project concept that prompted you to approach it in this manner. And this is an open-ended question for everyone.
I'll get us started. My film is called Ashe, and Ashe, the term is, it comes from the Yoruba term, soul, light, spirit, and good vibrations. And this is a word that has been kind of like used by people in my community, and I really didn't understand it, and I wanted to like understand more of it, just because it was connected to family. Family is very important to me. I have about 21 siblings. I have such a huge family. And don't ask me the numbers between my mom and dad. This is crazy. But with that being said, during quarantine, it was like I really started missing my family and like us all. And I was just like, it's really important that we have people, our family be able to check in on us and like ground us and keep us, in our best, keep us sane, because sometimes the world can drive us sane. And it's a reminder, it's like anytime I'm with my family, it brings me back to my childhood. And like right then and there, I can find my youth again. So with Ashe and like, pitching for this project, I just wanted to do something that felt good, that can like remind people of family. It can remind myself, like about the family and the community that I have here in New York. So, once I realized that it was something that fit perfect, I started writing up a storm, and I never felt as passionate as I did before. So that's what prompted me to, write this.
Absolutely. I feel like your film not only speaks about family, but it also touches on like the importance of celebrating the matriarchs in our lives. And I really appreciated that there was transgender representation within your film. So I would love for you to share with us a little bit about that.
Oh, yes. So that is the, within our families, I just feel like I have a lot of friends within the LGBTQ community, IA community. And I think that I love how they were able to, within the ballroom scene, be able to create houses And within these houses, you have mothers, and then you have your children, and those are the people who are studying under the mother, and like just have a place where they can come and like, you know, be able to pour into. And I feel like, you know, that is a home, a family that needs to be recognized. You know, like we have our chosen family, and we have, you know, our blood family, and all is family at the end of the day, because, you know, we get and receive and we pour into it in different ways.
I know you all haven't seen each other's films yet, so I'm really excited for you to see each other's films, and be able to connect with each other afterwards and talk about the work that you all have done. I know, Numa, your film really focuses on like sisterhood across generations and women vowing to support and uplift each other. And I think that that's such an important thing to touch on when we're talking about solidarity and togetherness in our community. So I'd love to hear, you know, why the prompt for this project kind of led you in that direction, and what it is that you're hoping to say or for folks to take away with your film.
Sure. Yeah. When you all first approached me about creating something for the project, I was really in a place of just wanting Black women to have a moment of joy and celebration. And I felt that was very timely, that I was so strongly feeling that way when this request came through. So yeah, for me, my film is really a celebration of Black beauty, Black joy, Black intimacy, womanhood. And I think it's important for us to just have an experience and a moment where we can just sit in luxury and sit in leisure and be playful and intimate with each other. And in this film, you get to have that for a few moments inside of all the chaos that's happening in the world today. So it was a joy to make the film. All of the goddesses in the film were just happy to be able to have that moment as well. So I'm hoping that that really translates to our audience globally.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think it's so important for us to be able to acknowledge that leisure is our birthright. And I think that's also something not exactly, but similar to what you've touched on in your film, Elisha, Rejoice, Resist, this idea that joy is our birthright, and that we should be able to lean into that as a community, even in the midst of everything that is going on in the world. So, I mean, I'd love to hear about Rejoice, Resist as well, and why you were also moved to create something that spoke to our joy.
Yeah, so that kind of the thought for the film, behind the film, came about also, you know, when we were being bombarded on a daily basis with, you know, very, very heavy and really, really troubling news. And, you know, and we were all as a community in immense pain. And for me, I was looking at these little moments that I was getting out of my day, looking at stuff, and also not being able to really in person connect with people, looking at how we were sharing bits that reminded us of, you know, yeah, joy is our birthright, and that we are also are allowed to experience that. And it was, but it also made me a little bit conflicted in that moment, to allow myself to feel that joy, to allow myself to give into that, and to realize that by allowing myself to feel joy, I was nourishing myself. I was giving myself what I needed to continue to go on and face the harsh realities that we were confronted with. And this is something that I kind of wanted to show in the film. Also a little bit this inner conflict of allowing yourself to give into that, to feel that joy, to know that it is important. Yeah, so that was one of the main themes in my film.
I was gonna say, I think that that comes through in the narrative really beautifully. I think something that both Ademola and Sean kind of touch on is this idea of like acceptance and identity. Sean, I think with Rebel Seed, it's such a interesting take on the way that we, and specifically within the Black community around the globe, kind of have, this silent acknowledgement of each other in different ways. And I really appreciate that the statement that you sent through for your project was executed in kind of an abstract way. So I'm curious to hear about like what your intention was behind Rebel Seed and how that that concept came out of us, reaching out about this project.
Yeah, I think I was really focused on Black identity and kind of the nuances of the Black experience and growing up. And I think I grew up in the UK, so I have a completely different kind of like, I think the conversation around race in the UK is a very different conversation to what is happening over here. And I've lived here now for 5 years, and so it's been kind of really eye-opening and humbling, like my whole time here, just really kind of seeing the differences between the two. And I think there's a lot of shared experience as well. So it was kind of stemming from, I guess, things I was discovering growing up, and, how you kind of view yourself and your place in the world. And some of these things only that kind of get answered the older you get. But then that feeling of solidarity and community when you really find other like-minded individuals, and this kind of like shared trauma that everyone has kind of been through, and this kind of like inherent trauma in a sense. So yeah, that was kind of like the genesis, and there were all these things going on. And I think obviously with this year being, so heavy and heartbreaking, that kind of like reflection on, just kind of the nuances of the Black experience. And that was kind of like the genesis of the film.
Yeah, and I feel like Ademola, you also speak to this idea of identity by having like an inclusive cast. I know that was really important for you when creating your film, but then it also kind of touches on the Black, I think, experience within like the fashion industry as well. So I'm curious to know like why you chose to approach the project in this way with identity.
Okay, so the first time I got the brief for this project, I remember like that's the first time I truly like I had to open up like the dictionary to pretty much find out what independence and solidarity actually meant. And I just found, and like that's how I came up with the term identity. And it's like pretty much yourself, which is independence, yourself, and solidarity, like unity. And I remember like because I was thinking of fashion, and the first thing that came to my head was the body, right? And I thought about like the human body, our dark skin, and I was like, and I immediately like that's what sparked up the idea for identity. And I related it to how like our hands are like pretty much different. Like we could do different things with our bodies, but we're kind of still connected together. Like we still have like a main like power like source, which is our brain. So at the end of the day, like our hands can do different things, but like we're like everything has to be in unity, and that's what makes us function. And I just said, I'm just going to see how I could relate that to the fashion industry and like the clothes, and like because it was so interesting, like having to, how would I say, like do this project, because I just realized how much I just took it back to the term back to our roots, and I just created the film going backwards, showing that regardless of like what we're wearing now, there's like still like there are like people like behind the scenes that have made these like clothes or like these pieces that we're wearing. And I just wanted to shine light on everyone, on like people. So like my film is like split into various chapters, and like I just wanted to be able to cover those three areas, like the body, which is us wearing the clothes, the self and agreement, which is like the stylist, everyone that's like styling you wearing those clothes, and the cloak of invisibility, which is like the people like behind the scenes that have made the clothes available. So I just wanted to touch every aspect of the fashion community, and as well as being able to preach, or rather like put out a message that we're all together and like we're all like individual bodies or like individual parties, but we all make what we're wearing. So that's pretty much like you just being yourself and an agreement, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. I really appreciated how differently everyone approached their projects, and found it really interesting to even have a project like this. I think when we speak to the fashion in the films, these were fashion films. And a part of the concept for this campaign was that we would use all Black designers for the campaign. And we're working with all Black creatives from around the globe, which, you know, was like putting a big puzzle together, getting everyone to be involved in this project. And I know that it came with its challenges, but I'm curious to know, as filmmakers, what it was like for you to work on a project like this, and have you worked in this capacity before? Because I think that it both highlighted, you know, areas where we are extremely strong as a global community, and then also ways that we can continue to support and uplift each other. So yeah, I'm curious to hear what it was like for you all working with
I'd
all
like to
Black
speak to
designers.
that a little bit
Yeah.
if I could. I can speak to that a little bit. Another thing that really excited me about this project is that it is centered in the world of fashion and design, which has often been a very elitist industry in all ways. And I'm also, in addition to being a filmmaker, a designer. I have a glove collection, and I was able to feature my gloves in the film, which was really cool. But I remember when I first started that collection, this is like many years ago now, and I was filmmaking and creating, you know, the glove collections. I just experienced so much gatekeeping and so much racism across the board, even for like a very small accessory designer, you know, just trying to break into the luxury space. So I started leaning more into my filmmaking, which I love so much, and this was a great way to be able to include both of those things and then expand out to all of these amazing designers that are discoveries for me, you know, like House of Ama and Lovolu are both brands that are in my film, who I'd never heard of before. And their clothes, their collections are so beautiful and so intricate and so necessary and should be leading the pack. And I think that it's just exciting for me to be able to work with those designers and have us on the map more than when I first started in both filmmaking and design. So I'm just glad that it's evolved to this space now where the fashion film is actually a thing now more than it has ever been before. And we can have so much impact across that medium. So I didn't care about the challenges as much as I cared about oh, this is really a great platform for all of us?
Yeah, this project was really meant to be a platform for everyone involved. And I know that the designers, because we have over 50 designers that have been spread out across all of the films. So what we've been able to do with these films is give everyone an opportunity to be seen on a global scale this fashion month, which I think is incredible. So, I mean, I just want to thank you all for even offering your brilliance to this project and helping us create this platform for the designers, for sure.
I just wanted to go back to about like some of the complications I had with filming this. And I think one of my issues was like, I have like 17 cast members, and it was really hard trying to like, number one, keep in mind that it's still a pandemic happening. And then being able to work with MemStore to like get, the right designs on these people and on all my talent, excuse me. And it was just, it was quite a lengthy process. It took some time for us to like think about, intentionally like what certain people are wearing and like how they're going to be paired together, where they're going to sit inside this home. And I feel like we spent a lot of time like blocking and thinking about what colors sit well next to each other, what patterns sit well next to each other, and who are our characters and how we can properly represent them for the viewer so they understand their role in this family. So that was one of the things that we had to like really work out. And I don't really think it's an issue, but it was something that we have to pay great attention to detail. And I enjoyed the process.
Yeah, I mean, we flew designers in from all over the world for all these films. I think one of the things that was so evident to us was how few of the designers had like we all like knew as like household names, like what you were saying, Numa. The industry can sometimes not be very inclusive or provide this level of opportunity to emerging designers, and I think we need to do more of this. I'm excited to learn so much about so many amazing brands that are out here. And again, like to be able to feature designers from all over the world in these films, it just goes to show that we do have, they exist, they're here. There's enough of us. There's an abundance of Black designers. There's an abundance of beautiful, well-made clothing and accessories that come from our brains and our minds and our communities. And I think that there's a narrative shift that needs to happen around there not being enough of us, because there are, and there's enough of us that are doing really amazing things. And I want us to be able to support each other as well and uplift each other. And that's really, what this whole thing was about. I would love to hear from all of you, like what you want folks to kind of take away from your films, if anything at all. I guess everyone can kind of speak to that in whatever pace you feel.
I just want people to feel that sense of intimacy and experience, the joy and luxury of being a Black woman and the way that we care for each other and are there for each other and enjoy our lives. That's what I want people to just have a moment of that experience, excluding all else, just delving into the joy of being a Black woman.
Oh, I'm going to jump around. Ademola, what would you like for folks to take away from your film, Identity?
The most important thing for me is I just want people to celebrate the work more. In terms of like the designers, in terms of like how would I say? Because to be honest, like when I was filming this, like I saw some names for the first time, and like I feel like it actually opened up like a new like space for me in terms of, and I began to appreciate like the details and like the amount of work, because there's this like really beautiful fit that was like in the film, and like this so like it's so cool because they were like threads, but then it just looked so good, and I like, for me, like identity, for my short film identity, I just want people to be able to appreciate like the amount of details that have gone into like creating these fashion pieces, and I just want people to be able to celebrate like black like fashion black fashion designers more. I think like that's like the whole point of this, but like that's when I said to do this project, that was like the aim. I was like, you know what, when this is done, I want people to be like, oh wow, that really looked like a really good fit, or like, I never heard of this brand before, but they really have like amazing fits. I just want people to um just pay more attention to the designers, and just appreciate the work more. Yeah, that's what it is for me.
Thank you so much for that. Me too. I really think that we all just need to be celebrated more. Sean, I'm curious to know, what would you like folks to take away from Rebel Seed?
I think just, yeah, a sense of hope, optimism, feeling seen, belonging, which were all just kind of themes imbued within the film. And just that, you touched on it earlier, but that like kind of secret network of signs and signals like we as Black people have. And I think it's really amazing when you discover that there is a much wider community out there and you're not like alone in the world. So yeah, it's like an optimistic feeling.
Anthony, what would you like folks to take away from Ashe?
Some things that I want people to take away from Ashe is that understanding the role in which family and spirituality plays in our lives, and that we should embrace our mothers in all forms. We can move along further together in solidarity.
I would love to hear from you, Elisha, and what you would like for the viewer to take away from Rejoice, Resist.
First, I kind of wanted to jump back to something that you said earlier, which is which also links to what I want people to take away from this. Just what you said about our experience working on this project and shooting this project. And I wanted to say that what I found really, really amazing with this is the coming together of separate fields to support each other. Like, we are highlighting the designers, but the designers are also highlighting us as creators, because only 4% of all directors in the UK and the US are Black. So also the way that we can work together as different industries to support and uplift each other, I think that was something that was really amazing about this project. And likewise, what I wanted people to take away from my film is I want them to feel restored. I wanted them to feel energized, and and I wanted them to also feel that they weren't alone.
I just want to personally thank each of you for all of your hard work on this project. I too really wanted this project to be an opportunity for us to come together as a global community. I've just really appreciative of being able to meet all of you and work with all of you, and appreciate your just selflessness in offering up your work to this broader community of Black creatives. And I know that the designers feel the same way. So thank you so much. I can't wait for you all to see each other's films. And for the screening on Tuesday, it's going to be bananas. I think everyone's going to be really excited about what we've been able to create together. Thank you so much, you all. We're like in all different time zones, but I feel like we've been in the same room for the last month and a half, working together day and night. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Bye.